Sit right there.
What is this place?
Pan America Airstream. 34 feet 7 inches long, 8 feet 5 inches wide. Dimensions which are perfectly adequate for one person. Preferable, even.
This is where you live?
No, I don't live here. This is a storage unit. It would be weird.
That's what would be weird?
I'd like to spend more time here. However, I'm afraid some of my clients might follow me.
Why would your clients follow you? You're an accountant. How do you know what to do here? Why are you prepared for this?
Plus, this is on wheels, which means I can hook it up and be gone in 12 minutes. Usually.
Sarcasm? Is that sarcasm?
No, that's not sarcasm. I don't use sarcasm. It's irritation. Everything in the world that is important to me is in this trailer. And right now, changing my routine for you is jeopardizing that.
Set.
This is Michael Faulkner, and it is Showtime at the October 11th, 2016 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you on the Chronic Rift Network. This week's birthdays include former Superman Brandon Routh, Quantum Leaper Scott Bakula, Jodie Benson, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Emily Deschanel, Dr. Temperance Brennan from Bones, Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman, Roger Moore, the third official James Bond, and Ben Whishaw, the current version of Q. Starting with the box office report, the movies did okay. At number 10 is Queen of Catway, down 3 from 7th. At number 9 is Masterminds, down 3 from 6th. At 8th is Sully, down 3 from 5th. In 7th is new release Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life, debuting to $6.9 million. It pulled a 59% from critics, but an A- from audiences that were split evenly between men and women, and mostly under the age of 18. Finishing out the sweet spot on 5 is new release The Birth of a Nation, premiering to $7 million. In the face of controversy, which was actually less about the historic title and more about the director's involvement in a 1999 rape case in which he was acquitted, this is a pretty good result. It earned a 79% from critics and an A cinema score. The top 5 this week begin with Storks, down 1 from 4th with $8.3 million, added to a total of $50 million. In 4th place is The Magnificent Seven, down 1 from 3rd with $9 million, added to a total of $75.8 million. In 3rd place is Deepwater Horizon, down 1 from 2nd with $11.5 million, added to a total of $38.3 million. In 2nd is last week's winner, Ms. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, adding $15.1 million to a total of $51.2 million. And winning 1st place this week is The Girl on the Train, premiering to $24.5 million. That's a little below expectations, but not overall surprising, given the 44% reception from critics and the less than stellar B- cinema score. The audiences that did arrive for the film were predominantly women over the age of 35. Let's close out the box office report with a look at winning in years gone by. 5 years ago in 2011, Real Steel took number 1 for a second week with $16.3 million. 10 years ago in 2006, The Grudge 2 won the weekend with $20.8 million. 20 years ago in 1996, The Ghost and the Darkness was the winner with $9.2 million. 30 years ago in 1986, Crocodile Dundee took the title for a 3rd week with $10.6 million. And 40 years ago in 1976, Marathon Man took the box office crown with $4.5 million. The box office premieres for October 14th are bringing comedy and thrilling action, starting with this week's headliner, The Accountant, a crime thriller starring Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick, and J.K. Simmons.
How did you, get into financial consulting?
Department of Labor statistics indicate it's one of the fastest growing professions. Actuarial sciences are experiencing tremendous growth as well.
Okay. I like the balance of it. You know, I like finding things that aren't obvious. Plus, my dad was an accountant. He actually, you know, he had the whole shtick. The, you know, the little amortization book and the green eye shade, and the, like, dorky pocket protector, and
I have a pocket protector.
That's a nice one. I mean, his was dorky. Yours is nice. But he convinced me to go into the field because I wanted to study art at the Art Institute of Chicago, but art doesn't pay the mortgage. Art doesn't pay the mortgage, young lady. Dad's taste ran more to dogs playing poker.
I like dogs playing poker. Because dogs would never bet on things, and so it's incongruous. I like incongruity.
As a math savant uncooks the books for a new client, the Treasury Department closes in on his activities and the body count starts to rise. The Accountant is rated R. The second title is Kevin Hart, What Now? A comedy documentary starring Kevin Hart, Halle Berry, and Don Cheadle.
How did this idiot get in here, you say? No, but I do read subtitles.
Why do you have subtitles?
I have subtitles because you have subtitles.
This is ridiculous.
What's ridiculous is when I put the black bouncing ball on mine and make it that much better than you.
Enough! Hand over the money.
I'm not giving you my money. This is going to pay for my global tour.
Comedian Kevin Hart performs in front of a crowd of 50,000 people at Philadelphia's outdoor venue, Lincoln Financial Field. Kevin Hart, What Now? Is rated R. And the third wide release is Max Steel, a science fiction action adventure film starring Ben Winchell, Josh Brenner, and Maria Bello.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right, you ready? On.
These are the adventures of teenager Max McGrath and alien companion Steel, who must harness and combine their tremendous new powers to evolve into the turbocharged superhero Max Steel. Max Steel is rated PG-13. There are also 4 titles on this week's limited slate, and you can find those in the show notes. Next up is a look at the home entertainment slate for the week of October 11th, and I'll begin with new releases on DVD and Blu-ray, and that list begins with Ghostbusters, a supernatural comedy starring Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. Following a ghost invasion of Manhattan, paranormal enthusiasts Aaron Gilbert and Abby Yates, nuclear engineer Jillian Holtzman, and subway worker Patty Tolan band together to stop the otherworldly threat. Ghostbusters is rated PG-13. The second title is Krampus, a horror comedy starring Adam Scott, Toni Collette, and MJ Anthony. A boy who has a bad Christmas ends up accidentally summoning a Christmas demon to his family home. I'm surprised that this one has taken so long to release to DVD and Blu-ray. Krampus is rated PG-13. The third title is Ice Age Collision Course, an animated comedy starring Ray Romano, Dennis Leary, and John Leguizamo. Scrat's epic pursuit of his elusive acorn catapults him outside of Earth, where he accidentally sets off a series of cosmic events that transform and threaten the planet. To save themselves from peril, Sid, Manny, Diego, and the rest of the herd must leave their home and embark on a quest full of comedy and adventure, traveling to exotic new lands and encountering a host of colorful new characters. Ice Age Collision Course is rated PG. And the fourth title is The Legend of Tarzan, an adventure film starring Alexander Skarsgård, Margot Robbie, and Samuel L. Jackson. Years after the man once known as Tarzan left behind the jungles of Africa for a gentrified life in London as Lord Greystoke with his beloved wife Jane Porter, he has been invited back to the Congo to serve as a trade emissary for Parliament, unaware that he is a pawn in a deadly convergence of greed and revenge, masterminded by the corrupt Belgian captain Leon Rom. The Legend of Tarzan is rated PG-13. Dropping by new releases on digital video, we have one title there, that's Batman, Return to the Cape Crusaders, an animated action-adventure film starring Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar. It's back to the 1960s as Batman and Robin spring into action when Gotham City is threatened by a quartet of Batman's most fiendish foes: Penguin, the Joker, Riddler, and Catwoman. This time, the four supervillains have combined their wicked talents to hatch a plot so nefarious that the dynamic duo will need to go to outer space and back to foil their archenemies and restore order to Gotham City. It's a truly fantastic adventure that will pit good against evil, good against good, evil against evil, and feature two words that exponentially raise the stakes for both sides: Replicator Ray. Holy multiplication tables! Batman: Return of the Caped Crusaders is rated PG. If you want some more of the classic 1966 Caped Crusaders, check out the Batcave Podcast, where John Drew and his retinue of rascally rogues analyze each amazing adventure of the stalwart series. They have recently published interviews with Burt Ward and Adam West, and they're planning to go in-depth with this golden 50th anniversary gift. You can find the Batcave Podcast right here on the Chronic Riff Network.
I've been high, I've been low, I've been everywhere I wanted to go, but I've never been here before.
Moving right along to TV on DVD and Blu-ray, we have a couple of new titles, and then a bundle of blasts from the past. The first is a twofer. It's Mike and Molly Season 6 from 2015, and Mike and Molly The Complete Series, spanning 2010 to 2016, starring Billy Gardell, Melissa McCarthy, and Rena Wilson. Mike and Molly is the story of a couple who meet at an Overeaters Anonymous meeting. During Season 6 of Mike and Molly, Molly continues to work as a published author, but her determined pursuit of a career in writing is also creating difficulties in her relationship with Mike. And there's no relief for Mike either. With his in-laws living under the same roof at home, and his best friend and fellow Chicago PD officer partner Carl McMillan at work, Mike's got his own world of drama to deal with. But at the end of the day, Mike and Molly have each other. And when it comes to couplehood, no matter what life throws in their way, these two wrote the book. The second TV title is The Good Witch, Season 2 from 2016, starring Catherine Bell, James Denton, and Bailey Madison. In Season 2, Cassie and Sam put romance on the back burner as Sam resolves his family situation and Cassie decides that she's ready to take things to the next level. A complication arises with the arrival of Middleton of John, an old archaeologist friend of Cassie's who is clearly interested in more than just friendship. Meanwhile, Grace wants nothing to do with her magic, as she struggles with feeling different from her peers. Cassie guides her daughter through this rough time and encourages Grace to embrace her gifts. When Sam's not busy navigating the convoluted family life created by his pushy ex-wife, the swoon-inducing doctor has his hands full with his burgeoning medical practice and oversharing front office assistant Eve. Meanwhile, Middleton's indefatigable mayor, Martha, is still working hard to keep the town humming in true Martha style. But as always, Cassie is at the heart of everything and manages to weave her magic in her own special way, leaving a lasting effect on those around her. The third title is Hannibal, The Complete Series, spanning 2013 to 2015, starring Hugh Dancy, Mads Mikkelsen, and Carolyn DeVarnis. FBI agent Will Graham hunts the most notorious serial killers. Graham is both gifted and cursed with extraordinary ability. He can think like his prey, seeing what they see and feeling what they feel, while pursuing an especially troubling, cannibalistic murderer. Special Agent Jack Crawford teams Graham with a highly respected psychiatrist, a man with a taste for the criminally minded, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Number 4 on the list is Knight Rider, the complete series, spanning 1982 to 1986, starring David Hasselhoff, Edward Mulhare, and William Daniels. Ride shotgun with the mysterious crime fighter Michael Knight and the hottest car on 4 wheels, Kit, as they chase elusive criminals in each action-packed episode. The action ramps up in the heart-pounding second season of Knight Rider when it packs in even more thrills, more high-speed chases, and more full-throttle excitement with dynamic duo Michael Knight and Kit in the action series that left all others in the dust. Number 5 on the list is Kolchak, the Night Stalker, the complete series, spanning 1974 to 1975 and starring Darren McGavin, Simon Oakland, and Jack Grinnage. Kolchak the Night Stalker, the uniquely eerie mystery series that paved the way for the X-Files, comes to DVD with all 20 original 1-hour episodes of the 1974 to 1975 series. Emmy nominee Darren McGavin stars as Carl Kolchak, a headstrong investigative reporter on the trail of the paranormal, zombies, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, succubi, and even aliens. No matter how unnatural or unbelievable, Kolchak is there to uncover the truth, one supernatural threat at a time.
What if you found a portal to a parallel universe? What if you could slide into 1,000 different worlds, where it's the same year, and you're the same person, but everything else is different? And what if you can't find your way home?
Number 6 on the list is Sliders, the complete series, spanning 1995 to 2000, starring Jerry O'Connell, Sabrina Lloyd, and John Rhys Davies. Journey to parallel Earths with the iconic sci-fi adventure series that has thrilled fans for 5 gripping seasons. Jerry O'Connell, John Rhys Davies, Sabrina Lloyd, and Clement Derricks are Sliders, an unlikely group of travelers who encounter alternate versions of everything and everyone they once knew and loved, as they attempt to make the one slide that will take them home. And the final TV title this week is Miami Vice, the complete series, spanning 1984 to 1990 and starring Don Johnson, Philip Michael Thomas, and Sandra Santiago. The cops, the cars, the clothes. Set against the seamy and steamy Miami underworld, Miami Vice allows you to ride shotgun with suave cops Sonny Crockett and Ricardo Tubbs, as they battle a never-ending gallery of criminals, drug dealers, and lowlifes. See why Time magazine called Miami Vice TV's hottest and hippest cop show. I'll wrap up the home entertainment slate with Blu-rays from the past, and this week I bring one title for your consideration. That's Carrie, a horror film from 1976 starring Sissy Spacek, Piper Laurie, and Amy Irving. A telekinetic-powered girl becomes senior prom queen, is publicly humiliated, and then chaos and destruction ensue. Carrie is rated R. Attention, citizens! After this brief break for About a Shameless podcast cross-promotion, the Weekly Podioplex will continue.
Emergency. Batman speaking. Warning all of you to brace yourselves for big news.
The biggest.
Tell them, Robin.
Holy superlatives, Batman! It's really exciting.
Greetings, citizens. Join me, your old bat chum, John S. Drew, on my journey to discover what it is I love about the classic 1966 Batman television series on the Batcave Podcast. Each episode, I'm joined by a guest host as we review the classic television series. There's a new episode every 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or at the batcavepodcast.com.
Holy memoranda, folks. Make a note not to miss it.
Good thinking, Robin.
And welcome back to the Weekly Podioplex. I'm Denise with your Quick Flicks. With last week's Luke Cage release and subsequent breaking of Netflix, this week's news is all about the MCU as it continues to get bigger and better. But before we get started, can we talk about the new Doctor Strange TV spot? Holy crap. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it right now. Oh wait. Back? Awesome, right? So I promised my mom I wouldn't go see the movie until I visit her over the Thanksgiving holiday, and now I'm really starting to regret some life choices here, you guys. Really starting to regret things. Alright, first up is the Defenders. Fans of the Marvel comic book universe will know all about the Defenders and its members: Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. With The Living Weapon debuting in March, Marvel and Netflix seem finally ready to start producing the series bearing the comic book name. MCU Exchange went snooping around on a recent video interview posted to Facebook Live, featuring Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage, and a guest appearance by Finn Jones, who will grace our screens as Iron Fist. He mentioned there would be about 3 weeks between the conclusion of filming for Iron Fist and the start of filming for the Defenders. Knowing about the Iron Fist wrap party sometime last week, the MCU Exchange estimates that puts the timetable for the start of filming for the Defenders sometime early to mid-November. Of course, this is all just speculation, as nothing has been set in stone yet. The question remains, how is the MCU going to put all 4 characters onto the same screen? Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Daredevil all have strong individual stories. It's safe to assume Iron Fist will follow in the same footsteps, but the danger of bringing 4 strong individuals together on the same screen is a lowering of quality in favor of one character's story over the other, placing them as the main character despite an ensemble cast. I mean, look at what happened to Arrow, a show just all kinds of mess, and just it's a mess. Hopefully, the strong foundation Netflix has built with its heroes will avoid any such pitfalls. Continuing on, the Punisher solo series has begun filming with official confirmation of the show's supporting roles. Marvel has come on the books saying even Moss Brackrock, Ben Barnes, and Amber Rose, Reva, are playing key roles in Season 1 of The Punisher. Stephen Lightfoot had this to say: "I'm really excited about the cast we're assembling alongside Bernthal as Frank Castle. I look forward to watching Ben, Ebon, and Amber embody these characters and breathe vivid life into a story we're crafting for this season of Marvel's The Punisher." Moss Backrack will be taking on the role of Micro or Microchip. The character is described as an NSA analyst who will be an ally to Castle. EW explains that Micro's secrets may be of great value to Frank Castle and everyone around them. In the comics, David Linus Lieberman, Microchip, served as Castle's right-hand man and second set of eyes. He's an expert hacker and gunsmith, supplying the Punisher with the majority of his advanced assault weaponry. Barnes will be taking on the role of Billy Russo, described by TV Line as Frank's best friend from his days in the Special Forces. Billy runs a successful private military corporation called Anvil. Reva, meanwhile, will be playing Dinah Madani, a character described as highly trained, sophisticated Homeland Security agent who is vexed by the Punisher. So, this is interesting. It makes me wonder just what sort of season they're gearing us up for and what sort of hero the Punisher is going to become. Remember, this guy was out for revenge and took this whole vigilante thing to its logical conclusion. John Bernthal is a fantastic actor, and I'm really curious as to how the Punisher will turn out in his solo show and what the story might be. Thirdly, Iron Fist, you guys. Iron freaking Fist. If you're like me and not at NYCC, you missed out on the debut of the Iron Fist motion poster, and you are sad. The series will follow Danny Rand, played by Game of Thrones Finn Jones, as he returns to New York City after a period away. According to the synopsis for Iron Fist, Rand will attempt to reconnect with his past and his family's legacy, meanwhile fighting the criminal element of his world using kung fu mastery and an ability to summon the awesome power of the fiery fist. The motion poster teases more about Danny's character, and I so wish I could show it to you guys. Google. Google is a thing. You should use it. The poster was designed by Joe Quesada, and it really is a thing of beauty. In addition to Jones, Iron Fist stars fellow Game of Thrones alum Jessica Henwick as Colleen Wing, a woman with her own martial arts dojo who becomes an ally of Danny Rand. Plus, David Wynham, Lord of the Rings, will play a Harold Meacham, while Jessica Stroup, the Following, and Tom Pelphrey, the Banshee, will portray his children Joy and Ward Meacham. Making the jump from Jessica Jones, Iron Fist will also include Carrie-Anne Moss, reprising her role as Jaren Hogarth. Iron Fist premieres March 17th, 2017. And finally, if you're watching Luke Cage, and you really should be, and you want to know how you can get your grabby little hands on that amazing soundtrack, or if there even is a soundtrack, I am here to tell you there is. Sorta. What makes the MCU special is how they take these comic book characters and bring them to life with a depth and breadth of personality and agency. But not just that. The MCU has really taken the art of making a setting into its own character to another level. From Hell's Kitchen to Harlem, every part of the MCU lives and breathes with a life of its own. And now, Luke Cage's score is getting a proper release worthy of its musical depth and influences. Vinyl, baby, the only way to go. Austin's Mondo, best known for high-quality original prints of movie posters and artwork, has announced they'll be releasing Jung and Muhammad's score on a limited edition yellow vinyl, complete with artwork by Matthew Woodson. The 180-gram 2LP collection will be available for pre-order starting October 7th. And that's it for this week's Quick Flicks. I'm Denise, and I'll see you next time on the Weekly Podioplex.
Thank you, Denise. With that, we come to the end of this week's edition of the Weekly Podioplex. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to the brand new homepage at chronicrift.com and leave an audio message right there on the website using your microphone, or you can write to weeklypodioplex@gmail.com. Of course, you can still tweet us on Twitter. The Chronic Rift is chronic_rift. The Weekly Podioplex is Weekly Podioplex. Denise is Riley James Keith, and I am Womprite99, like the creature Luke with bullseye in his T16 in Beggar's Canyon. You can give the Chronic Rift a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and you can find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook and Google+. Take a moment, stop on by, and consider the shows the Chronic Rift Network has to offer. The main show is offered weekly with the Rift regulars, and you can listen live, or you can download the episode later in the feed. We also have Cyborgs, a Bionic podcast, the Batcave Podcast, the Hornet Sting Podcast, the OSI Files Podcast, the G2V Podcast, Generations Geek, presenting the transcription feature, the Dan and Travis Show, the Sci-Fi Diner Podcast, and so much more. Check us out and find the culture in pop culture. If you're interested in more of my adventures, take a quick trip to my blog, Creative Criticality, where I'm watching every episode of Doctor Who for the first time from the very beginning of the franchise and reviewing those stories in the Timestamps Project. Right now, the blog is in the middle of the 14th season with the adventures of the 4th Doctor. In fact, I'm about to say hello to the new companion, Leela. And the link to those reviews can be found in the show notes. You can also find Creative Criticality on Facebook. Denise can also be found on the internet at Accessories Not Included, where she talks about her writing, reviews books, and offers her services as a cover designer. Check her out at accessoriesnotincluded.com. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make through that store, including the new Batman film, supports the Chronic Rift Network. Your support keeps us on the air, and we appreciate your consideration. Look for the links to our best bets in the network store in our show notes, or click the Amazon box on the website. The Weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. On behalf of Denise and John, this is Michael Faulkner. Thanks for listening. Until next time, there are adventures and drama, comedy and action, worlds to explore in the depths of film. Get some popcorn, find your favorite seat, and I'll see you at the theater.
That's a wrap.